Okay, so we've seen that you can use Octave as a calculator. Um, you want to use scripts for any sort of complicated calculation. Making a script makes it easy to edit the script. You can go back and make simple changes and then rerun the script to redo the entire calculation. So it saves you a lot of typing. Of course, you can make some really long scripts too that do some very powerful programming. So let's talk a little bit about scripts and Octave. Um, and you can type edit for like hello world to create a file. Typically, I find it easiest to actually back in the command window here you can just right click on an existing file name, or you can create a new file. Let's say new file.m. And then that will create the file. And if I double click it here, it'll just take me to the editor where I can start typing in commands for the file. Scripts should end, Octave scripts should end with the file extension .m. Okay, and here's a simple example of a script called coin toss. A couple lines here that are comment lines. Any comment line or any comment actually begins with the parenthesis, and then Octave ignores the rest of the line as far as an executable line is concerned. Here, what this particular script is doing, it's using an if statement. And it's using a random number generator. So it's got a built-in function called rand, and every time I call it, it returns a different random number between 0 and 1. Okay, and in the editor, we're comparing the return value from rand to 1/2, and if it's less than 1/2, we're going to display the string heads. This is the display function. Again, you can get help on any of this, help if, show you the basic structure of the if statement, and then help display will give you information about the display statement. Display we typically use to display strings and or display variables, are the values of variables. So here we're just going to display the string heads, and then if rand is greater than 0.5, if it's between 0.5, it's going to be tails. So this is essentially simulating a coin toss. Now I can run this script in either two ways. Here from the editor, I can click on the little triangle icon here, which will save the file and automatically run it. Now to see the output, I actually have to go back to the command window. Okay, and then I can run it again. Okay, and again, see the output, I want to go back to the command window, or from the command window, I can go up to the File Explorer and then right-click on the file name and just say Run, and then that will run it as well. Okay, and then the third way is to actually in the command window actually type in the name of the script without the .m extension. If I type in the .m, I'll get an error. Okay, so and I've got to make sure I'm in the same folder that actually contains the .m file here. So I should be able to see cointoss.m over here in my File Explorer. But again, I just type in coin toss. And then Octave has command line editing built in. So instead of retyping it, if I want to just execute a previous command, I can just hit the up arrow key, and that will recall the previous command, and then I can just hit enter. And we notice here that every time I run this particular script, I get a different result simulating the toss of a coin. This is our first simple example. We'll do much more elaborate and complicated examples as we go on. So the other way, again, I can close the files out here, and then I can actually just open it up from the file editor. Again, the easiest way to open up a file in the editor, an M file, is just to double click on it. Okay. Let's see. So actually the first few lines here, the first couple lines are actually documentation for the command. It says here this is a help file. This actually are the lines that will show up when we use help with this command. So we've actually not only written our own little program here, we've written the documentation for it. So I can do help coin toss, and it will actually display the first few lines of the script. And it's good to include comment lines like this at the top of your script so that you can use help to get a reminder of what the script actually does. And then I think I've already kind of gone through the, there's additional comments here. Again, anything after a percent sign in a line is going to be taken as a comment. I think we've covered everything there. All variables created and modified in a script exist in the workspace even after a stop running. We'll see examples of that later on. Anything after percent is a comment. The first comment lines at the beginning of the file actually become the script's help file. Comment thoroughly can help you figure out what a script does later on. So the first exercise here is to actually create a little hello world script that just displays two lines, two strings, and lines of text are called strings in computer science. So, and you can use the display command to display strings, the display function when we actually pass the string as an argument to the function. So this is a really simple function. So go ahead and type this in. Again, it looks like this. Here we've got our comment lines, our help documentation, and then a display, and then hello world enclosed within quotes, and then a second display line, hello world, I'm going to learn MATLAB. Then we can run this, and then you'll see that output, or again, I can rerun it, keep rerunning this same script multiple times. So this is our first little exercise, and so this concludes the section on scripts, and on the next video we'll look at working with variables in MATLAB.